All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 2025 CAD vs. CAD Speed Modeling Tournament, the 2025 Spring Open. This is our second tournament this year. We had a tournament earlier this year where we were able to work with students from Corey Mesa's training class, Mr. Mesa Makes, and from his high school instructional class. We were able to work with students, and we were able to see them battle it out in a CAD vs. CAD showdown, mainly using models that were at Tier 2, and then towards the end of the competition, we got into some Tier 3 challenges. Well, today we are now in the Spring Open. We're going to be seeing some professional CAD users from all around the world, so the competition is going to be a little bit tougher. The models are going to be a little bit more complicated, and we've got a very special guest joining us today. So without further ado, let's welcome our special guest to this competition, none other than Aaron Moncour. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
What's up, Toby? Super excited to be here. First time ever commenting on one of these CAD versus CAD challenges, and thanks for putting all this together. I know it's a lot of work on your end, so big round of applause for Toby for putting all this together.
Well, it's very kind of you to say, and I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad to have you here. We're going to make sure that we keep getting our levels correct here as we get started. I know that in the past I've struggled a little bit with getting the levels correct, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself. You're from Pipeline Design and Engineering. You're the owner of Pipeline Design and Engineering. You're a mechanical engineer, a design engineer, a test engineer. You really have done it all.
Yep. I'm working on the bodybuilding and the European supermodeling tour, following everything that you mentioned. So that's coming up. Keep your eyes peeled for that. More information on all my social channels, TikTok and Instagram, etc.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, we are so thankful to have you here, and very excited now. You're a SolidWorks user, is that correct?
That's right. I've been using SolidWorks for about 15 years now.
Wow. Yo, we got the right person in the booth with us today. And so you've got a company called Pipeline Design and Engineering. And what does that company do?
Thank you for asking. So we focus on developing custom bespoke automation equipment, fixtures, machine design, largely for medical device companies, but for other industries as well.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So anytime a company needs some type of a machine, an assembly machine, something to automate their assembly processes, or really any processes, any kind of manufacturing processes, they could look you up and you could help them put that machine together?
That's correct. Yep. So like vision inspection, glue dispensing, robots, motors, pneumatics, sensors, all that fun stuff.
Wow. And so as far as number of components go, what is a SolidWorks assembly? What is the highest number of components in a SolidWorks assembly that you've worked on?
Well, we did a machine last year. It was a custom carton erector machine. It had a big robot in it and a whole slew of motors and I think a dozen pneumatic actuators and a lot of custom parts. And I think the part number count was something like 300 custom part numbers in there. And many of those parts were duplicated, used 2, 3, 4 times in the assembly. And then, of course, there are all the nuts and bolts, the screws. We get really detailed with our CAD model, so everything is in there. And there were, I mean, including all the nuts and bolts, there were thousands of parts, components in this assembly.
Yo, that's awesome. I love those large assemblies. They're a lot of fun to manage. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and very excited to learn more about you, learn more about the company as the presentation goes on. I know you said you've got 15 years of CAD experience, and we see here in the chat that Ricardo Jean says my father has 25 years of CAD experience.
Ooh.
So wow, he's going for it there, huh?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And we've got a lot of people in the chat here, including none other than AMO Alex, Mr. Alex, who's competing today and started off the super chat train with a $10 donation. So thank you so much, Mr. Alex. You know how to get the refs on your side before the competition begins. So thank you. And we also see in the chat here, Byte Systems, one of our sponsors for the tournament, is here with us today in the chat. What is up, Amen? Great to see you in here. And thank you so much for sponsoring the tournament. Byte Systems, we're going to learn more about them in just a few minutes. Very thankful to have them as a sponsor. FPV Kev is here, longtime friend of the show. We have Hi from Ukraine here. I'll call that that name Cyril. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly. We got Incho Bankia here in the chat. We got Faith in the chat. Jern is in the chat. Mr. Alex again, double Mr. Alex there. We got Gray in the chat who's going to be competing today. Dom is here. Ex Machina, who's an Libre user who was in the qualifiers but didn't quite make it into the top 8. Old friend of the show. Great to see you in here, my friend. And we've got Aaron C in the chat, our #1 Model Mania Model Monday Live point winner throughout the year last year, and a regular old friend on the show, and 3rd place finisher in a recent World Championship tournament. And we see some more super chats coming in here down at the bottom. Thank you guys so much. Let's get down to the bottom and recognize those super chats. So many great people are here today. Aaron C says, let's keep this train rolling. Let's keep this train going. Thank you so much, Aaron C. Very much appreciate. Jern in the chat. Now, Jern, Aaron, you might find this interesting. Jern runs a piece of software called Build 123D, and that is a 3D CAD system that you design the parts while coding. You're actually doing code, and it's almost like a Python type interface where you're coding and generating 3D CAD models. And he's actually competed in these tournaments before, and he often posts videos of himself doing the Too Tall Toby models. And so it's really cool to see that. If you guys haven't had a chance, check out Jern's channel. You can probably link to it right here from the YouTube chat. And Jim Yu in the chat coming through with 100 and okay. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you so much for that super chat. Very much appreciated. A great way to support these tournaments and a great way to support the channel. And FPV Kev is here in the chat. He's got 10 euro, I guess those are euros. Thank you so much, or 10 pounds sterling. Thank you so much. The best CAD stream and chat you can get. Thank you. Jim Yu says, ready for some nail biters here. Yes, indeed. Jern says, choo choo. Let's keep this train rolling. Thank you guys so much. Very much appreciate the support. That is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Jordan says, thanks for the shout out, Toby. Our community is small, but growing fast, approaching 1,000 stars on GitHub. That is awesome. And Mr. Mesa himself, Corey Mesa, the instructor for the students who were in the tournament last time, has come through with another donation, another super chat donation. Love the TTT community. It's the best on YouTube. Yes, I agree. We are the best competitive CAD community on YouTube for sure. I'm going to guarantee we got that one locked down. So guys, let's get into it here. We are going to be doing some CAD vs. CAD. Now, if you want to support the channel, the easiest way to do it is just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share and reshare, and of course, sign up for a free account over at tootalltoby.com. We'll talk about that a little bit more as the presentation goes on as well. Mesa Makes is the second. Oh, thank you. Oh, I completely agree, Mr. Mesa. Mesa Makes is the second best CAD vs. CAD community on YouTube. And Mehhtab in the chat says, oh yeah, Mesa makes great YouTube videos on Onshape. Yeah, I completely agree. He makes some great stuff on there. So Aaron, this is what our tournament bracket looks like today. We've got Mehhtab versus Mr. Alex battling today. We've got Gray is going to also be going up against Dom today. We've seen Dom in the tournament before. I think he's come in as a runner-up. He's definitely coming in the Final Four several times in these tournaments in the past. I think this might be Dom's chance to take it all down here in the World Championship. But first, he has to get through Gray, who absolutely crushed it on the leaderboard. We've got Ricardo Salado, #1 on the qualifying leaderboard, our #1 seed in the tournament, going up against Abdullah Rahman next week. Ricardo from Italy and Abdullah from Bangladesh. And then next week, we've also got Scott Makes a Thing, our only non-SolidWorks user, coming at us with RhinoCAD, Rhinoceros. And Scott is going to be going up against Atse. Atse from Macedonia, Scott from Canada. So a true global battle here. We've got 8 runners representing 7 different countries in this tournament, but there can only be one champion. And so this is going to be a single knockout elimination tournament. You get your one single round, your one single battle, and then you get knocked out. Now, I should clarify that each round is going to have multiple battles, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments, what that means. Any questions so far, Aaron?
All good, man. I'm excited to get started.
Yeah, this is going to be epic. I can't wait to see these matches today. And Corey Thunes is in the chat. He's one of our first competitors, one of our first non-SolidWorks competitors. He competed using Fusion back when he was still a teenager. I don't know if he's still a teenager or not, but back when he was still a teenager. So great to see you in here again, Corey. Welcome, welcome. Now, are there prizes for this tournament? Yes, indeed there are. We're going to see that first place is going to get $100, and second place is going to get $50. And so this is kind of like our warm-up tournament for the year. We're going to see some more tournaments throughout the year, at least one more during the World Championship, and possibly a summer exhibition, summer-type tournament. We're thinking about mixing it up a little bit for our summer season this year. So we're just getting things warmed up, and I think we're going to see the prizes continue to increase as the year goes on. So if you didn't get a chance to register for this tournament, well, you still have a chance to register for the future tournaments throughout 2025. And I want to say, of course, thank you to our sponsors. Let's start out by talking about Byte Systems. So Byte Systems sponsoring this tournament. And I don't know if you're familiar with Byte Systems, Aaron, at all. Have you ever worked with them?
I haven't. No, I checked out their website before we got started. They look like a SolidWorks reseller. Is that right?
More of a SolidWorks customizer, actually. So what they do is they work with customers who are trying to do automation either through PDM or automation just through straight SolidWorks, and they create custom code to help you complete whatever your custom task is. So if let's say you like, it could be something really simple, like maybe whenever you go to make a drawing, you want to automate the process of outputting a JPEG or something like that. Well, they could help you with that. They can help you by implementing like a single button solution to do that. And then anytime you change the drawing, it would automatically update that JPEG, something like that. Something that's not necessarily a standard workflow that would, be built in, but something that they could customize just for you, just for your company, to help your company be a little bit more effective with the software.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've done macros like that in the past, and there's one in particular I'm thinking about where it literally saved us dozens of hours every time we used it. So
Wow.
there's a lot of power in those SolidWorks automations. In fact, I have an event that Byte might be interested in hearing about a little bit later this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that event. Yeah, for sure. So guys, if you haven't checked out Byte before, if you ever are in need for any kind of automation, they're an industry leader in SolidWorks and PDM customization. They offer ERP and PLM integration and data migration, and they offer API training videos. So if you want to get into the world of API, of custom programming yourself, certainly you could hire them to do your custom programming, but you could also sign up and you could take a look at some of their videos and learn how to do that API coding yourself. So I know Byte Systems is here in the chat. If you guys have any questions for them, you can ask them here in the chat, and I'm sure that they'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And let's see here. We also have, we see in the chat, some people are talking about how we had that $100 bill cut in half. That's how we're going to pay out that $50. Yep, that's right. That's what we're going to do with that. Rambro's Workshop, who's currently our world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, says, I'm excited for Rhino. I'm excited to see what Rhino has to offer, what Rhino's going to do. And we see here, Ruto, new subscriber. What's up, Ruto? Welcome. Thanks for joining us here today. Says, new subscriber, keep up the great work, TTT from Kenya. Yo, what's up and welcome. Thanks for joining us. And we got Rock Crawler, old friend of the show. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you in here. Thank you so much for joining us. And Rambro's Workshop, the world champion, is saying, Atse, you have some serious speed. We're going to see Atse next week competing in his match against Rhino. So that'll be a good matchup. All right, guys, and of course, let's just talk real quick about practice models. We're going to talk about this a little bit later as well. But if you're not familiar, you can visit us at tootalltoby.com. You can sign up for a free account at tootalltoby.com, and you can start your journey from 2D to 3D, practicing creating 3D models from 2D prints. And of course, one of the huge benefits of that is being able to practice and then practice again and really refine your workflows. And we've talked about this a lot here on the channel, but just in case anybody's new here, we have any new visitors, be sure to check out tootalltoby.com. That's where you can sign up for practice models, and we will talk about that just a little bit later in today's presentation as well. And of course, I want to say not only thank you to the sponsors, but thank you to you, Aaron, for being here, for taking some time with us. Now, I know you kind of alluded to this earlier, but what is PDX? I've heard of this PDX. It's all over LinkedIn. I'm seeing it everywhere. What is PDX?
Thank you, Toby. PDX is the Product Development Expo happening October 21st and 22nd in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. The weather will be nice at that time of year, I promise. I've talked to my people, they've confirmed it.
Nice.
And we're going to have dozens of industry experts at PDX training on different topics relevant to engineers developing physical products. So these are training topics such as how to program a robot, advanced surface modeling in CAD, plating and finishing techniques, DFM for injection molding or CNC machining, GD&T, metrology, vision inspection, glue dispensing, etc., etc. You can come and sign up for as many training sessions as you want. Conceivably, you could probably hit up 10 or 12 of these 30 to 60-minute training sessions. It's going to be an awesome time.
Wow.
I'm super excited and hope to see you there in October.
That's cool. So 2 days, hands-on skills, real life skills for actually building products, 2 days long, Phoenix, Arizona, and it's like a technical conference. Like you can actually go and learn things. It's not like not just like a trade show where you're walking around and visiting booths. There's actually like training classes you can sit in.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's
That's
very
cool.
hands-on. The focus is on practical skills, right? This is not theoretical, conceptual stuff. It's not sitting, listening to a lecture for an hour. It's hands-on, working with these experts, getting practical training on how to actually do the engineering work, the product development work.
Wow, that is very cool. That sounds like a very cool conference too. So definitely be sure that you check that out. We're still trying to see if we can make our way out there to Phoenix during that time. It's that special time of year where I think it might actually end up working out perfect. So we're gonna see what we can do, and maybe we'll be out there and
Awesome.
we'll meet some of these users in person. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, yep. And there's a $50 discount code right there. Use that to get, oh, it's like 17% or something like that off the purchase price of the ticket.
Nice. Yo, that's awesome. Good deal, guys. Make sure you grab that QR code, grab that registration code, and shout out to Rockcrawler coming into the chat here with another super chat. Thank you, Rockcrawler. Says thanks GTT for putting this on. Good luck to all the runners. Yes, indeed. Good luck to all the runners. We gotta get into this here with these runners. I know that everybody's excited to see these matches. So let's get into it here. How is this gonna work, Aaron? Well, what we're gonna see is 2 runners from around the world, and they are going to battle it out here. We're gonna show them a 2D drawing on the screen right here in YouTube. And so they're gonna try and take that 2D drawing and model it up into a 3D model. And when they're done, they're going to try to calculate the mass, and they're going to try to enter that mass directly into YouTube. We're going to be using YouTube here as our arbiter. So whichever answer comes in first here in YouTube, that's going to be the answer that we use. And so the rules here for this tournament are that it's a best of 3 matchup. So once we get into the first matchup, we're going to see that our runners are going to have a little wins box, and you have to earn 2 points to get through this matchup. So it's kind of like a best of 3, or first person to win 2 points. Now, when our runners answer incorrectly, we're going to tell them, we're going to say, I'm looking at my answer sheet here, and that answer is not correct. I'm sorry, you have to try again. And if they get it wrong a second time, then they're done. So you can get it wrong one time. We'll say, sorry, you've got it incorrect. Like, you can try again. But if you get it wrong twice, you're done. You cannot answer correctly. Now, that doesn't automatically give the other person a point. You have to earn your points in this tournament. But it does mean that you're out. You can't answer any longer. So you can do one wrong answer. Now, the cool thing about this tournament is that because we show the 2D print to everyone here on YouTube, you guys in the chat can play along with. All right, you can actually take that 2D print and you could try to model it up and see if you're faster than these world champion professional CAD experts. And you can do this using any 3D CAD system, using SolidWorks, Fusion, Onshape, Build 123D, Tinkercad. You can use any 3D CAD system you want. But what I do ask is that you do not help the runners. So that means if you see a runner and they submit the incorrect answer, don't type in the chat and say, you missed a fillet, or your thickness was wrong. Don't tell them what they did wrong. And also don't post the answer. Don't post the answer in the chat. If you solve it before anyone else, there's a certain flex we can do. You guys who are in the chat who are watching, you know what the flex is. Go ahead and type it in right now. You can type it in the chat, or if you're a member of the channel, you actually have a special icon you can use when you solve it before the runners. But what do you think, Aaron? What do you think would be a good way of letting people know that you solved it before the runners?
Oh man. Well, you talked about a flex. Maybe turn your camera on and show us those guns.
You could do that. Usually what people do is in the chat, what they do is they just say, I got it. They just let everybody know. They say, I got it, and that's it. They just say
that works too.
They just say, I got it. That's kind of how you let everybody know, like, I already solved it. I got it. So we're going to get into it here with our first match. This first match here on this beautiful May 2nd is going to be between Mehhtab from Bangladesh and Mr. Alex from Latvia. So this is going to be a good match. SolidWorks versus SolidWorks for this first match. And what we always do in our very first match before we really officially get going is we do a little test run. We do a little test matchup here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just get everything ready here. Do you have any questions for me, Aaron, before we get started?
No, I don't think so. Let's dive in.
All right, let's dive in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip over to a full screen view here. So I'm going to flip over to full screen, and then as soon as this print displays here on the full screen, the runners are going to attempt to model this thing up. So as soon as we see the model show up here on the screen, just making a quick adjustment here. Here we go. As soon as we see the model, or the drawing, excuse me, show up here on the screen, the runners are going to take this drawing and they're going to try to model it up. And then we're going to flip over and we're going to look at their screens. And we're just kind of doing this as a tech check. We're making sure that everything is working correctly. We're making sure that, that the runners understand the rules and the process. It's pretty nerve-wracking, Aaron. If if you ever find yourself in this seat where you are competing in this tournament, it's very nerve-wracking.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it. There's a lot of stress, a lot of eyes on all of you,
yes,
a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Yeah, we got 77 people.
Everyone's going to do great.
77 people are watching right now. So guys, if you like this idea of these stressing out these runners, make sure that you hit the like button on this video. We want to try and get that ratio up to 1-to-1. But let's take a look here. We're going to show these guys their first challenge. This is just a practice challenge. And here we go. Byte Systems coming in with a gift membership, sending out gift memberships for anybody who wants to grab one. Thank you so much to Byte Systems. Wow, wow, wow. Very much appreciate it. What a nice gesture from our sponsor. Let's go. Now those members are going to have access to those cool emojis. So they're going to be able to get in there and they're going to be able to, drop in like the victory CAD emoji or the GG emoji or the one emoji. They're going to be able to drop all that in. So shout out to our friends at Byte System. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go.
Man, those went quick.
Oh yeah.
10 receipts immediately following that.
Yes. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get into our first practice battle in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is just a tech test. This is just a practice here for our runners. And what our runners are doing right now is they're grabbing a screen capture of this 2D print, and then they are going to attempt to model this up. It looks like both of our runners have successfully grabbed this print, and it looks like we've got, let's get over here to our CAD versus CAD battle here. This gives us a quick, kind of a final chance to set things up and make sure that we've got everything the right size. Like you can see Mehhtab's screen here, I have it a little small. Let's just fix that up, right? This is why we do the tech check ahead of time. Aaron's looking good. Mr. Alex is looking good. You can see that these guys are modeling this part up and they're trying to come up with the correct mass, and then they're going to enter that mass directly into the chat. And so you can see that both of our runners are looking for this. We're looking for the answer in 0.xx. You see Mr. Alex went beyond the correct precision. That's totally fine. That's totally good. So he said 0.691. Mehhtab did the same thing, 0.691. When we had the CATIA user, the CATIA user would enter it into 8 places every time. And that was totally legit. You can always be more precise, but what you don't want to do is be less precise. So it looks like both of our runners, Mehhtab and Mr. Alex, have solved this answer correctly. 0.69 pounds. This one was in pounds. It was also wood. And that way we can make sure that our runners kind of know what to expect from today's challenges. We are going to have challenges in wood. We are going to have challenges in inches and pounds. There's even a sheet metal challenge that's available. Now, the question is, how do we determine which challenge is going to come up next? Because, if I knew the order of the challenges, I could kind of stack the deck a little bit. So instead, what we do is we turn to the Wheel of Fate. And I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Solidbox for sponsoring the Wheel of Fate during this tournament. And if you guys ever need professional level hardware, be sure to check out the crew over at Solidbox. They will get you a computer that will just work right away on your computer, on your machine, as soon as you get it up and running. So we are going to take a look here, and what we're going to do is what we usually do here, Aaron, is we challenge the audience to see who has clairvoyance. Maybe somebody's got somebody in their family who was like a witchcraft specialist over time. And
medium,
yeah, medium of some sort. And so we are going to be challenging now our audience here. I'm going to shuffle these before we get started because they are currently in order. And so you can see here that everyone starts with 25 because we're 2025, SPO because it's a spring open, and then 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, Okay, and one of these is a sheet metal challenge, just so you guys know. I think just one sheet metal challenge today. And so we can see in the chat, we've got some audience participation here. Who has clairvoyance? We have Jern coming in with 7, Aaron C 05, Jim U 08. Jim U is almost always spot on, so I would jump on that 08 train if I was you. Pico Boo 05, Abdullah 06, Atse 5, Rambros Workshop 3, Rockcrawler 7, Daddy Fixed It 1, Mesa Makes 4, Church of Egg 5, Johan is coming in with 08. I like it. I like it. Ricardo Gene is saying, is this 25 SP1? CAD by me 05 and Nadesh 06. And Nafizur is coming in here with 07. And Zoro CAD coming in with 7. You want to take a guess here before I spin it, Aaron?
I'm going to go with 7, my lucky number.
Here we go. Let's give this thing a rip. And let's find out who has clairvoyance here.
Come on, lucky 7.
All right. Let's see what happens. And it looks like the answer is 4. So congratulations to our friend Mesa Makes, Mr. Corey Mesa. I think he was the first one to come in there and suggest 4 would be the answer. Let's see if there was anybody else in there. 4 and whoops.
Blue Byte Systems coming up with 4 as well.
Very nice. Very nice. He's got the gift. He's got the gift. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look here. Whoops. Overloading my chat a little bit there. I was clicking around too much. You know how that goes. All right, let's change this to live chat. We want to make sure that's set to live chat because we want to make sure that we get these answers in here correctly. So, Aaron, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to maybe tell us a little bit about these runners. Now, there's a lot of fun facts here on these sheets, so you don't have to read all of them. But maybe you could pick 1 or 2 from Mehhtab and maybe 1 or 2 from Mr. Alex here. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get this drawing number 04 all ready to go here.
Absolutely. All right. So starting with Mehhtab, we see he's a sophomore industrial engineering student. That's super interesting. I think engineering is awesome. Obviously, I'm an engineer, but industrial engineering is an area I don't know a ton about. During his SolidWorks course, he was facing problems modeling something. He searched for some SolidWorks tutorials, and lo and behold, he found the TTT channel. So happy he did, and now he's here. That's how he made his way here.
That's awesome.
And then we've got Mr. Alex, started using AutoCAD back in 1992.
Whoa.
And then SolidWorks starting in 1997. Maybe he's forgotten a few things since he started in 1977. We hope that SolidWorks has added a few things since then as well, which I know they have. And maybe most importantly, a Too Tall Toby t-shirt owner. As all the cool kids are, obviously.
Yeah. Softest shirts in the CAD game, for sure, for sure. Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for that intro to our runners. And guys, thanks for choosing 04 from the Wheel of Fate. This is actually, I think, my favorite model. Aaron C., if you're out there, I think you're really going to like this one. And let's get into it here. And this CAD battle is going to begin as soon as I show the full screen print. Shake it off a little bit, guys. Get yourselves ready to do the screen capture. And here we go. This very first CAD battle of our 2025 Spring Open begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 3 grams. This part's in millimeters. It's aluminum, 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. It's only a tier 3 model, but I'm really interested to see how they sketched this thing up. Both of our runners have grabbed a screen capture of this model, and both of our runners are now going to attempt to model this thing up. It is a little bit of a cool model here. You know, you could look at this model and you could say, yeah, I could just draw that up in 2 features. But the thing is, it's really the devil's in the details on this thing. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they come up with this arc work. And so we see Mehhtab on the left has started his sketch on the top plane. He has decided to jump right in. He's created that arc that indicates the center point of the curved arc down at the bottom, the 160 diameter circle there at the middle of his part. And now he's jumping right in and creating that upper curved shape. Now, of course, I audit these models. I test these models. And when I audit them both in SolidWorks and in Onshape and also in Fusion sometimes. I try to audit them in multiple CAD systems. And I know for sure that when I was modeling this thing up up in SolidWorks, I ran into a lot of weird hiccups with these arced slots. The tangency relationships, the arc relationship, the angle relationship, it just fought me. So I'm very interested to see how these guys plow through this thing and come up with these answers.
And I don't see a lot of mouse movement, which is great, right? Not spending time moving the mouse all over the screen. I'm guessing they're making heavy use of the S key. I don't see the S key dialog popping up, but maybe it doesn't show over Zoom. Anyway, that's a huge pro tip for any of you who are not using the S key. Just so you know, you're doing it wrong, and start using that S key every day.
Yeah, the S key is absolutely clutch. And so Mehhtab, wow, I looked away for a second. I was looking at the chat. I was noticing Aaron C said, I'm really liking Mehhtab's use of construction geometry. And then I looked back and Mehhtab already has that first one extruded and is already turning it into a pattern. Wow, wow, wow. So
Dang.
this is some speed here. He was able to get that. Now, is it correct? Is it not correct? We're not going to find that out till the end. And a lot of times we've seen slow and steady wins the race. But now we get into kind of the second phase of this thing, the second part of the game here, which is getting these fillets in, getting them in the right place, getting them tangent. We have what's called a Toby note on this drawing. If you go back and you look at the drawing, I know the drawing's not up currently, but there's a Toby note on this drawing that kind of indicates where those arcs are tangent to. And so we see Mehhtab is now going through, opting to use a sketch circular pattern. Very interesting. I think somebody in their fun fact said that they do not like using sketch patterns. I thought it was maybe Mehhtab that said that, but he's doing it anyway. He's getting in here and he's doing it.
Oh,
looks like
that extrusion direction. There we go.
Yeah, extrude went the wrong direction, and we might see an answer here already from Mehhtab.
Yeah,
Talk about speed modeling.
Wicked fast.
Yeah. Now the question is it correct and is it within tolerance? And so Mehhtab comes in with an answer: 3,490 grams. And that is correct.
Wow.
And so congratulations to Mehhtab. Wow, wow, wow. Really, really fast there. You see Mr. Alex, the way that he's doing it. That's what mine looked like when I was auditing this thing. And definitely a tricky part. And guys, throw a GG in the chat for Mehhtab. That was a very, very speedy run. My goodness. Just a few minutes.
That got the blood pumping. Just watching this was a rush.
Yeah.
I felt the stress of the runners myself.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you've been there. You've worked with these types of drawings that have these crazy arcs in them. And wow, Mehhtab, very, very impressive. Very, excellent workflow, especially considering they've never seen these drawings before. This is the first time they're getting exposed to these drawings. And Mehhtab looked at it, came up with a game plan, and executed. Wow, wow, wow. Now, of course, all these drawings that we work with here in this tournament are tagged in the title block with a tier level of complexity. You'll notice it down on the right on this last one we saw, it had a tier 3 level of complexity. And so most of the models here at this first round of 8 are going to be either tier 3 or tier 4. It basically indicates how many features are going to be required to create that model. And so, I mentioned at the start of this model that maybe you could do this one in 2 features. I think realistically, when you start working in things like patterns, it's going to be a few more features than that, and it's going to be the more effective way to do it. It's not always about how few features do you use. It's more about, can you edit the model later on? Can you and your coworkers look at that model and make changes when the customer comes along and needs changes? But all of the challenges here this week and next week, they're all going to be tier 3 and tier 4. And then when we get into our semifinals, we're going to ramp that up a little bit. And then when we get in the finals, we'll see the most complicated models, because that's where, you really got to prove yourself if you want to earn that either $100 bill or that $100 bill torn in half.
Well, great job to Mr. Alex as well. I know it is stressful. It must be super stressful being the actual runner going through this with all the pressure on you and the clock going and knowing you're racing against someone else.
Yeah.
Great job to both of you.
Yes, indeed. And he says he lost his scale. Something happened with his scale there when he was creating that pattern, and things got a little bit out of whack there. And so, yeah, that definitely happens. And man, I gotta give a shout out to Mehhtab. He's been going through. He's been posting speed runs on the Too Tall Toby platform. He's been posting videos of himself speed running. He's really been putting in the work, and so it shows. It definitely shows. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's only 1 point. You got to win 2 points to move on in this tournament. So let's head back over to the Wheel of Fate. And if anybody out there wants to try to guess what they think this next challenge is going to be, this is your chance. What do you feel in here, Aaron?
Oh, it's got to be 7 this time. I mean, we missed it on the first one, but guaranteed this one
Okay.
is going to be 7. I'm feeling it.
All right, going for 7 here. I'm not going to shuffle it. I'm not going to change where the marker is. I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to give it a spin here in just a moment. Daddy Fixed It comes in with 6. Rambros 8. Rockcrawler 1. Jim U 7. Abdullah 1. Ex Machina 8. Church of Egg sticking with 5. Pico Boo 5. Vicky Chong 8. Mesa makes 6. Amit comes in with 5, and Nafazur comes in with 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 2. Okay, he's really spreading out that bet there. I like it. I like it. Cat by me 4, Aaron C 5. Let's give this thing a rip. Come on, 7, 7, 7, 7. Let's see what it ends up being here. Oh, man.
Oh, just barely edges its way into 8.
Yeah, just barely clicked over there.
I'm going to say I'm 1 off there. That's pretty close.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. All right, guys. So it looks like it's going to be drawing number 8 for this next challenge. So we're going to see how these runners handle this next challenge. This is going to be interesting. So maybe you could tell us just a little bit more about these runners, and I'll get that next drawing ready to go.
All right. So Mehhtab says that his SolidWorks rarely crashes, which is excellent news. I remember back in the beginning days of SolidWorks, we used to call it Solid Quirks because it felt like it would crash all the time. I feel like they've gotten a lot better at that over time. So that's wonderful to hear. Win rate in the National Offline CAD Design Competition is 100%. That is a big claim to fame right there.
That's great.
Amazing. And then Mr. Alex, I think I read through all of his old friend of the Too Tall Toby show.
Yes.
I guess I missed that one. So he's been around for a while.
He's been around for a while. He's been in multiple tournaments. It's great to see him in here. I always appreciate the support from Mr. Alex. I always get excited to see him in the chat. And so thank you, my friend. Really good to see you in here again. Good luck on this next match. And I think we're ready. I think we are definitely ready for this one. So here we go. Let's give this thing a shot here. We're going to flip over to our full screen. Are you ready for this one, Aaron?
Let's do it.
All righty, here we go. This next CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? X.xx pounds. Tolerance is plus or minus 0.01 pounds. This is an IPS, and the material is red oak. And our runners have already grabbed a screen capture, so let's get into it here and take a look at the action. We got Mr. Alex. It looked like he jumped in and started his first sketch there on the front plane. We see Mehhtab has decided to start his sketch on the right plane. And wow, look at Mehhtab running through this. It's like he's like running a speed running macro or something, how fast he's getting through this. But Mr. Alex over there, he's no slouch either. Look at him in that, creating that sketch in the front. Looks like he's creating that kind of larger radius in the upper corner, where Mehhtab on the left is creating the side view with that draft. This model does have draft of 10 degrees running along that back wall of the part.
Yeah.
So
I was interested to see how they do that draft. It looks like Mehhtab is modeling it right into the profile. There are a couple of ways that you could do that. This is one of them.
Sure. And this is definitely one of these drawings. If you go back in the live stream, if we were able to look at that drawing, I wish there was like an option where you could just like have the drawing like at will, where we wouldn't have to miss any of the action. But this is definitely one of these drawings where you get it from the customer and you're just kind of scratching your head as far as how they defined their dimensions. There's some really strange dimensions on this drawing that are interesting, and again, that just kind of makes you scratch your head and just say, why would anybody dimension this thing this way? So we've all gotten those drawings from our customers, and it's a good real world skill to learn. But my goodness, that could be a session that I do at PDX. It could be called "How to Read Bad Drawings."
None of us have ever encountered bad drawings. I just don't see the value there.
How to read drawings from a maybe somebody who just doesn't have as much experience. It's all good. We get through it. It's fun.
Looks like Mehhtab is extruding the full length and then putting some features in and mirroring the features. And it looks like maybe Mr. Alex is going for a different approach where he's just modeling half of it and then will, I'm guessing, mirror the other half.
I
Great
like that.
strategy.
I really like that approach. Model half and then mirror it at the end.
Yeah.
I see Mr.
No
Mesa
sense
says,
duplicating features if you don't have to.
I see Mr. Mesa, who teaches high school, says, I have a bunch of material if you want bad drawings. Very nice. Very nice.
Man, they're both making great progress here.
Wow. This is some speed modeling. My goodness.
Dang.
So it looks like Mehhtab must have a shortcut for bringing up those mass properties. And we're looking for an answer here within, his answer was 3.549 pounds. 3.549 pounds. And guys, we got ourselves a winner. Congratulations to Mehhtab.
Wow.
Congratulations to Mr. Alex, too, who is really flying through this thing. But Mehhtab, wow, what a start to this tournament. Really putting on a show there. Wow,
Amazing
wow.
work.
Yeah, I really like Mr. Alex. I wanted to see that model finish out with that mirror at the end. But wow, Mehhtab, great job. Great job to Mr. Alex. Great job to both of our runners in that matchup. That was so fun to watch both of them. And my goodness, that was some true speed modeling. He puts the speed in speed modeling.
And the speed here, it is not just a recreational skill. This translates into your job in a very practical and powerful way. I'm an employer and I've interviewed a lot of engineers over the years. And one of the things we always do is a CAD test when we're having engineers apply. And we time how long it takes them because when you're the business of engineering is all about how quickly can you finish something. And so if your CAD skills are this good and you're just tearing through your CAD designs, that's a huge benefit to you. It can earn you a higher salary. It can help your company generate more revenue, more profitable revenue. So these are really important skills to master.
Yeah, and I think you make such a good point there, and I appreciate you bringing that up because it's not, like you said, it's not just about recreational, it's not just about fun. It's also about, you know, you're honing your skills using the number one tool that you're using as as an engineer. A lot of you spend 3, 4, 5 hours a day on CAD, and so if you can hone that, it's not only that it makes you faster just for the sake of being faster, but I feel like it also kind of makes it a little bit more fun. It's you spend less time fighting with the CAD system and more time thinking about the actual engineering challenges. And it's kind of cool to just to not be frustrated thinking like, how come every time I do this, I have to do this, this, and this? You know, imagine if you had a challenge where you could test out 10 different workflows and you could figure out like, oh, if I hold shift, then that doesn't happen. Or if I didn't know you could extend using the trim command. That's pretty cool. Like you can really practice and refine these skills. And that's really what we're building over at tootalltoby.com is that environment. It's like a gym for CAD users to really kind of refine those skills and figure out what workflows are the most efficient. So yeah, a great point. And guys, GG to both runners. Put a GG in the chat for Mr. Alex. That was awesome. Congratulations to Mr. Alex. And of course, congratulations to Mehhtab moving through that run with breakneck speed. Wow, 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 wow.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah, way to go to both of our runners. Actually, hold on. I got to show one more thing here. We forgot to show the victory cat. Victory! We got to give the victory cat to Mehhtab there. Congratulations, Mehhtab. You did it. You got the victory cat. Well done. Well done. Little tradition here on the channel. Gotta have that victory cat. All right, guys. Well, we are going to get ourselves ready for the next match. Mehhtab says meow in the chat. Very nice. Don't forget to support the channel. You can like and subscribe. You can share and reshare. There's 98 people watching right now. Let's see what we can do to get that like count up to match the number of people that are watching. And Mehhtab in the chat says, good luck to Dom and Gray, who are coming up next. Yes, indeed. And we talked a little bit about Practice Models. Practice Models is one of the sponsors of today's live stream. And so check it out over at tootalltoby.com/practice. We have over 100 2D drawings to 3D challenges, very similar to what you're seeing here today in the live stream. But instead of you modeling it against someone else, you get to model it against a clock. We've got tutorial videos on there. We capture your analytics. We see how fast you are against the field. So you not only get to model against other people, you also get to model against yourself and become a better CAD modeler. TooTallToby.com. You can get started for free. And then if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for our premium membership, which is a great way to support what we're doing here and keep this train rolling. TooTallToby.com, TooTallToby.com/practice. All right, guys, let's get into our next match here. That was a really epic match. We're going to see Mehhtab compete again on May 16th. He's going to go against either Ricardo Salado, who's the #1 seed in this tournament, or against Abdullah Rahman, who's a fellow Bangladeshian. So we might see our first Bangladesh showdown here, but that's going to be up to Ricardo Salado. We're going to find out how good he does. Remember, his dad did CAD for 25 years. It's a long time. Guys, also, I appreciate all of the super chat, all the super thanks. You can also, if you want to support the channel, you can also visit us at tootalltoby.com/donate. We have a Venmo option on there. We have PayPal option on there. You know, if you don't want to buy anything, if you don't want to, sign up for a training class, you don't want a t-shirt, you just want to support the channel, we definitely appreciate it. It goes a long way. And we have some options over there at tootalltoby.com/donate. You can check it out. All right, let's get into it. Our next match is going to feature Gray from Russia going up against Dom from the United States. This is a real Rocky IV type of setup here, huh? Wow. I did not expect this. This is going to be awesome. So we've seen Gray. Gray, I think, was either #2 or #3 on the leaderboard. Dom was also up there very high on the leaderboard. So we're going to see a really fun matchup here. Dom's been in many tournaments before, but Gray is an unknown. We haven't seen Gray compete in the tournaments before, but longtime friend of the show, been on Model Monday Live. Always happy to see Gray on Model Monday Live. And let's get into it here with a quick practice round. Are you ready for this practice round, Aaron?
I'm ready. I just want to say thank you again to the runners. It takes some guts and some courage to put yourself out there and be vulnerable in front of everyone. So thank you guys for being willing to put yourselves out there and compete.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. Yeah, I like that. And Aaron, I know that you have to leave here. I want to try and be respectful of your time. Guys, Aaron is going to have to leave us in a few minutes, so he might quietly exit. He might say goodbye. But either way, it's been a real pleasure having you. Thank you so much for doing the co-commentary with me during that first match. That was great.
Absolutely. That was a blast. And I will say a quick goodbye before I head out. I've got 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's do the practice round then, and then that'll give you a perfect window to say goodbye to everybody. All right, guys, so let's get into it here. This first practice battle, quick tech check here for our runners, is going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XX grams? What is the mass of this part in XX grams? So both of our runners are going to try to grab a screen capture of this part, and we're going to flip over to see how they handle this challenge. Nice little easy brick here. Again, just trying to make sure that we've got everybody's screens being captured correctly, making sure that we've got our layouts working correctly here. I like Gray's layout of SolidWorks. This is a unique layout. I don't know if I've seen this one before. So this is pretty cool. All right, and let's take a look here. You guys can't see it quite as well as I can. Let me just resize this a little so you guys can see. Yeah, I like this theme. I like the dark. He's got dark mode, and then he's got this cool, like really nice kind of blue shade in the background. I am digging that. I like the no toolbar layout. We had one of our champions, Ivan the Reasonable, ran SolidWorks with no toolbars the whole time. That's kind of one of his claims to fame. He's got several claims to fame, but that's one of them. Of course, the Ivan exploit is named after him. And we see Aaron C comes in. He's not even in the competition, but he comes in with the very first answer here in the chat. 42 grams is correct. So Aaron C wins the point for this round. Congratulations, Aaron C. And we got Dom Linder coming in 42 grams and Gray coming in 42 grams. And Dom even changing the color to that diamond plate texture. I like it. I like it. Very nice. Very nice. All right, guys. Well, Dom says, GG, Aaron C. I'll log off now. All right, these guys all know each other. They've competed against each other before. They know each other. They're having some fun joking with each other. It's a good time. All right, guys, well, let's get into it here. Let's take a look. Let's learn a little bit about what our runners are going to face here by turning to the Wheel of Fate. So here we go. The Wheel of Fate. What does the wheel have in store for us? I think I am going to give it a little bit of a shuffle this time, just to mix it up a little bit here. Let's shuffle it a little bit here. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. So Nafazur coming in with 8. Abdullah coming in with 2. Let's see what people are thinking. What do you think, Aaron?
You know, if I keep going with the same number, I'm bound to win eventually. So I'm going back to lucky number 7.
I like it. I like it.
Consistency.
And we do have extra numbers on here because you never know. There could be a match that becomes a push. It could be something that where both of the runners get it wrong. We've even had matches that have completely stumped the runners in the past where no one was able to solve it, and we just ran out the clock. So we do have some mechanisms, and occasionally we do run into a bit of a stumping model, and that's why we have these extra ones here. Jonas coming in with 3. Rambros Workshop 6. Church of Egg says, 05, baby, don't fail me now. We got Jim Yu 7. Amit 2. Oh, we got a lot of people in here answering. Let me give this thing a spin, and I'll keep reading what people said. Here we go. We got Mesa Makes 2. Vicky 2. Aaron C 5. Jern 7. FPV Kev 2. Rockcrawler 1. Mehhtab 5. Mr. Alex 3. Dom 3. We got Divine 6. Pico Boo coming in with 5. What's up, Pico Boo? I don't know if I've given you a shout out yet today. Great to see you. Muhammad coming in here with 1, and we got Ex Machina coming in with 7. Guys, the correct answer was 2. Looks like it was none other than Abdullah Rahman, who's going to be playing next week, coming in with clairvoyance, already knows what the challenges are going to be. That's going to be a really valuable skill when you are running in this tournament, if you know what drawings are going to be coming up. So very nice to Amit. Very nice to Vicky Chong as well, to FBB Kev. Very nice, and very nice. Very nice to one and all. So let's learn just a little bit more about these runners. And I'm going to ask you, Aaron, as your final task here before you leave, just to read a couple of fun facts about these runners to get us going.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for putting me to work, Coach.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Jump the gun there.
Jump the gun.
All right, back there. All right, so we got Gray started using SolidWorks in 2019. So you've got about 6 years under his belt. That's a pretty good amount of time. Plays percussion, loves rock climbing. And then we've got Dom on the other hand here, also started in 2019. We've got contemporaries matching against each other.
I like it.
And entire adult career has been in manufacturing, which is near and dear to my heart. We are also in manufacturing. Love processes, love process development. Gray and Dom, good luck to you both.
Yeah, good luck to both of our runners. And any final thoughts here, Aaron, before you, I know, like I said, you're going to have to hit the road. I want to give you a chance to give any final thoughts to the audience, maybe a final plug for PDX.
Toby, I just want to say again, thank you so much for creating this amazing community. What a fun time here. Everyone gets along and supports each other. I just love that. We all have so much more in common than otherwise. PDX, again, October 21st and 22nd, just outside of Phoenix, Mesa, Arizona, technically. And you can go to pdexpo.engineer to learn more about that. That's nice. pdexpo.engineer. Also, we have a great podcast, Being an Engineer podcast. Toby was a guest not too long ago.
Yeah.
Check out his episode for sure. It was awesome. And just thank you again, Toby, for having me on, and everyone who's a part of this. Thank you for putting up with me here on the CAD versus CAD competition.
Nice. All right. Awesome, Aaron. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this as well. And I think we are just about ready to get into this. It looks like Dom is like working as we are going through this tournament. It looks like Dom, you guys can't see it on the live stream, but Aaron and I can see it. It's like Dom is like getting ready to compete, and then he's like, okay, I've got a few extra minutes here. I'm gonna just get a couple of final things done here. Dom,
hyper efficient.
Dom, I love it. I love your level of efficiency. All right, but we are gonna.
Everyone, take care.
All right, thank you, Aaron.
With the rest of the competition.
Yep, great having you in here. Take care. And guys, we are going to get into it now with this next matchup between Gray from Russia and Dom from the United States. SolidWorks versus SolidWorks in this 2025 CAD versus CAD modeling competition. And this next battle is going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds? Wow, we are getting a lot of parts in IPS here today. I think that's there's not many left that are IPS. We're getting them all right here at the beginning. What is the mass of this part? The material is ABS. The unit system is IPS, inches, and the density is 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. And we're going to flip over and see how our runners attack this challenge. Wow, wow, wow. What a cool setup here. We got Dom on the right. Looks like he's getting into it, modeling up that hole up top. We got Gray on the left going through and modeling up the side profile of this thing. Looks like he's probably going to end up using a mirror. I really like that approach. I like using mirrors. And let's get into it here. Let's see how these guys are doing. Wow, wow, wow. Look at Dom going through and trimming that thing up and getting it right into position. But Gray is a very relaxed freelancer. Dom is a design engineer and a certified SolidWorks expert. Dom is so fast, Aaron C. says in the chat. Yes, yes, indeed. Wow, he's so fast with sketching. Yep, and he's already got that first extrusion. We see Dom taking first blood in this competition, getting in there with some solid geometry. First one in there getting solid geometry. We see Gray hot on his heels, though, on the left, coming in with his own set of solid geometry. Yeah, we'll see which way is faster, exactly. Wow, so we see Dom here on the right, coming in, creating that kind of tab that's sticking out the front. It looks like he's already got it in location, but what's this? He's not seeing a preview. That's not good. See if he can figure it out. Looks like he was able to figure that out pretty quickly. Dom creating that tab there on the right, getting it into position. Looks good. Now I'm going to guess that he's going to be using some type of a mirroring command. There we go. I like that as well. And we see Gray on the left getting through and adding in those dimensions. Probably not the standard units that Gray is used to working in. I'm willing to bet that Gray is used to working in millimeters. So definitely playing in unfamiliar territory here, but doing a great job getting through it. And you can't see it here in the rendering, but on the back of this part, there is a little counter bore. And so we see that's what Dom is putting in now. He's getting in there and putting in that counter bore. And looks like Dom is opting to use the window select for the fillets. We saw that pioneered in one of our earlier tournaments, doing the window select for fillets versus just picking up on the edges. And so Dom going through there and getting that final fillet that was on the back side of that thing, doing what we call the final spin, making sure that he's applying the correct material. Rambro's Workshop in the chat doing a flex saying, I got it. Window select for fillets is great, says Victor K. And Dom coming in with an answer, 0.587 pounds. And that is correct. And so congratulations to Dom. That is correct. Well done, my friend. And congratulations to Gray as well. Gray's right there. He's getting in there. He's adding in that final fillet. And wow, what an awesome match from both of our runners. Just want to kind of see here how Gray does and see if Gray is able to get that final fillet on there. But wow, wow, wow. There we see SolidWorks has that select through faces for fillets, which can definitely be problematic. 0.59. We'll have to see if he's able to get that out to the correct precision, but I'm willing to bet that he's also going to come up with 0.587 here. Well done. GG to Dom. Dom is going to win that point. And Gray, it looks like your answer was probably correct, and I know that's a tough one. Yeah, GG to Dom, exactly. Probably not the unit system that you're used to working in. And but what a great match there from our runners. Wow. All right, guys, that was awesome. GG to Dom earning the first point, but remember, you got to earn 2 points if you want to advance in this tournament. So we are going to head on back here to our Wheel of Fate, and we're down to just 5 possible answers here on the Wheel of Fate. SolidWorks with Joseph says, good job, Dom. Good work, Dom. Yes, indeed. Bishal is in the chat. What's up, Bishal? Great to see you in here. Says, nice. Yes, nice indeed. I agree. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button on this video. Looks like we got about 90 people watching right now. Let's see if we can get the like count up to 90 as well. And we got Rambros Workshop 6, Abdullah 3, Rockcrawler 1, Jim U 3. I'm not going to shuffle it. Let's see here. Church of Egg. Come on, 05. Don't fail me now. Mohammed 01, Black Skull 01. And Nufazar coming in with 07. I like it. Vicky Chong 6, FPV Kev 7. I'm not going to move it around at all. I'm just gonna kind of let it roll here. But wow, what a great match there. Congratulations to Dom for getting that one. Really, really nice. Really, really impressive. And let me just get my guest name off here. Go. All right, here we go. Let's give this thing a rip. The Wheel of Fate has spoken and has chosen. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. The Wheel of Fate has spoken and has chosen 25 SPO 05. And Blue Byte Systems coming in with another 10 memberships for our audience. Thank you so much to Blue Byte Systems. Wow, wow, wow. That is awesome. Wow, thank you. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Blue Byte. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, crud. That was a misclick, guys. Misclick. All right, that one didn't count. If you hear anything, I misclicked the wheel there by accident. You guys don't see anything anyway. I'm leaving it on there. Okay, we're good. No harm, no foul. Just a little bit of extra cheering. Cheering for Blue Byte Systems, of course. Wow, thank you so much to Blue Byte Systems. Jern got a membership. Karan got a membership. Rich got a membership. Elevate Metalcraft got a membership. Refresh got a membership. And James got a membership. And MF got a membership. Leaf got a membership. Ryan got a membership. And David got a membership. Thank you so much to Blue Byte Systems. Wow, wow, wow. So nice. And guys, you should be able to go into your emojis now and add emojis. You should have the cat, the GG, the one, and the I got it. And we are going to be adding some more emojis to that collection very soon. But you should be able to spam those into the chat. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, Jern's got them. Yo, nice, Jern. Very nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, well, we're going to learn a little bit more about our runners here. Gray started using SolidWorks 2019, plays percussion, loves rock climbing, and dreams of a SolidWorks that is not buggy. Yeah, I hear that. Dom, actually, in a previous tournament, was in, I think, the semifinals. 1 point to 1 point. I think he was going up against Rambros Workshop, and SolidWorks crashed right in the middle of a match. So I'm sure that if anybody, yeah, he says, tell me about it. I'm sure if anybody knows how that feels to dream of a SolidWorks that is not buggy, it would be Dom. He definitely was feeling it during that match. And it was brutal because it was so deep in the tournament. Really, really tough, really, really tough one there. That was a rough one for sure. But it's time for redemption. We're going to take a look at this next challenge here. We're going to be taking a look at challenge number 5 for these runners. And, I think that we are just about ready for this one. Let me just make one final change here on my end. And here we go, guys. This is going to be a fun one. I got a feeling it's going to go pretty quick. And that's what we expect here in these early rounds. We have all of our challenges are tier 3 and tier 4 in this earlier round. So here we go. This next CAD vs. CAD battle featuring Gray from Russia using SolidWorks and Dom from the United States using SolidWorks begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part? In XXX grams. The tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. This part is made from ABS. It's an MMGS, and it's called hinge mount. And it looks like both of our runners have grabbed a screen capture. Both of our runners are taking a look at their SolidWorks screen and are deciding how to begin. So let's flip over and see what they come up with for this challenge. It looks like both of our runners have decided to start with a circle. Here we see Gray dropping in that circle with auto dimensioning. Ooh, I like that. He did 32 times 2 to get that diameter for that larger one. Very cool use of arithmetic there in the SolidWorks interface. I do that all the time. Even if it's simple math, I still do it all the time. Jern recognizing that this is looking very similar to an old TTT part. That is correct. It is indeed a familiar part, an older part. We do have some of the older parts here making their way back into the tournament. They're such good parts, you know, why not just use them again? Why use them once when we could use them again? So we do have some older parts here that may be making their appearance again. But of course, they're always changed, always different material, always different dimensions. So you can't just go back and look at the old answers. But look at this. We've got our two runners from across the world from each other, creating very similar sketches here to get started with this model. I really like how both of our runners are starting here. Looks like Dom is using more of a layout approach where he's going to be putting in all the geometry from multiple sketches here in this first feature. And then he's extruding using what's called contour selection in SolidWorks. So I like this approach. I like this way of getting started, kind of laying the whole thing out. He's got that first feature turned into a solid already here. And now look, he's able to use that same sketch once again for a secondary feature. He's able to use that same sketch once again for the tertiary feature. So that's kind of the cool thing about laying out all your geometry in the first sketch like Dom did there. You can see he's able to just use that same sketch over and over again with what's called contour selection. Something that, since I started using Onshape, I've really been using it a lot more, both in Onshape and in SolidWorks. That's the cool thing about learning a new CAD software. You know, you sign up for onshape.com/free. You start learning that for a little bit. You go back to SolidWorks, and then you start really expanding your capabilities, because now you're kind of like trying to do stuff that you learned in Onshape in SolidWorks, and then you're like, oh, it works here too. This is great. So this is very cool stuff here. All right, and so we see here that Dom looking in on this thing from the top, modeling up this rectangle, getting rid of that dimension. Oh, very cool. So he added in the first auto dimension, then got rid of the second dimension because of how it's dimensioned on the print. I like that. And now editing that cut extrude, changing it to through all. And it looks like Dom is going to be going through and adding some fillets. Loves flexing that window select for the fillet command. And you can see here that this model it does have some kind of interesting features in it. It's almost got like a sleeve in that upper region. And so now Dom is going to be trying to work through that sleeve in that upper region. We see Gray on the left looking down from the top, creating that kind of slotted shape there, looking down from the top. So very nice use of the slot command there. I love the use of the slot command there in SolidWorks. And we see Dom using what's called a custom properties manager to try to come up with the weight here so that the weight just kind of automatically calculates. And Dom coming in with an answer. 121 grams. And guys, we got ourselves our second winner here, moving into the semifinals in a couple of weeks. Dom, that is correct. 121 grams is correct. Jern in the chat says, wow, 2 clean sweeps. Yes, indeed. Wow, wow, wow. What a battle. What a battle. A global battle here. 4 different runners from 4 different countries. And wow, wow, wow. What a win there on the end from Dom. And what a battle, too, from Gray. Gray was right there hot on his heels on both of those challenges. So definitely an awesome set of matches and a lot of fun to watch. But it is going to be Dom who moves on in the tournament. So congratulations to Dom, GG to Dom, and really GG to all of our runners today. It was really awesome watching all of the runners in both of our matches today. Wow. Guys, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to leave us a comment. Come back afterwards and leave us a comment down below in the comments. But what a great series of matches today. So fun. So much fun to watch. So enjoyable here, and man, I cannot wait for the next one. So we're gonna expect to see our next match coming up here in next week, next Friday on May 9th. We're gonna see Ricardo Salado and Abdullah Rahman going against each other. We're gonna see Scott Makes a Thing going up against Atse. Rhino, our Rhino user, is going to be coming through. We're going to see if we have, it's like that show Surrounded. We got 7 versus 1 here, and we're going to see if the Rhino user is able to chop through everyone. Victor K coming into the chat with a super chat. Thank you so much, Victor K. If you're out there and you have the means, we really appreciate the super chat. It really does go a long way towards helping us keep the channel up and running. So very much appreciate it. And of course, thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you to Byte Systems. Thank you to Solidbox, and thank you to Too Tall Toby's Practice Models as our sponsors today, and for the whole tournament. And be sure to hit the like button before you leave. Be sure to share and reshare. Be sure to sign up for a free account. Thank you so much to Aaron Moncor for joining us from Pipeline Design. Be sure to check out his conference coming up at the end of the year, a cool 2-day long tips and tricks tech conference. And thank you, of course, to you, the chat, the most amazing chat ever. We couldn't do any of this without all of you. It's such a fun way to end the week. We are gonna do again another live stream on Monday. If you want to join us for Model Monday Live, you can compete like this on Model Monday Live against all the runners. It's funny how the chat tries to catch up at the end here. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Vicky as well. I see Atse in the chat says, shout out to Vicky. Yes, of course. Shout out to Vicky. Couldn't do any of this without Vicky. So thank you so much to Vicky. And Vicky says, thanks to Atse. Great stream. Yes, and we are going to go live on Monday. So if you guys enjoy this type of action, this CAD versus CAD action, be sure to join us live here on Monday. We will very much look forward to seeing all of you there in Model Monday Live. And then, of course, we're going to be back next week. The tournament continues with our round of 8 next week. And I'll look forward to seeing everybody there. So again, thank you all so much for joining me for this live stream here at the end of the week for this tournament. I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to win. Before you leave, drop a comment in the chat. Who do you think is going to be the champion? I'll bring up the bracket here at the end so you can get a reminder of all the names. And guys, good game to everybody. Good game to all our runners. Thank you all so much. I'll see you guys next week.